Level by Level Gaming, and I ordered this Raspberry Pi 3 Model B Plus off of Amazon for around $45, and ordered this power supply also off of Amazon for around $10 separate. I did not get the kit. They have many different types of kits. They range up to around $80 from what I could see. And the reason I didn't get the kit is because I already have SD cards. I have little small heat sinks from other projects that I have. Basically, I feel like I could make a case for this, or I might end up buying one separately later on. But I got the board and the power supply because that's all I needed, basics to get started with Raspberry Pi. Now, I have no experience with this device. Been hearing about it for many years. A lot of retro gamers love the Raspberry Pi. Also looked at some other boards, single board CPUs, things like that. The Odroid. I also looked at the Tinker board by Asus, and this one just seemed to get a lot of love and a lot of respect. So I went with this one just so I had a lot of sources to go to for information. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to unbox this, both of these things here, and just talk about it a little bit. And like I said, this is my first Raspberry Pi. Don't know much about these, but I'm very excited about getting started. So on the box here, as you can see, it is the element14.com. That's who the seller was on Amazon for this. It's very small. You know, it kind of caught me off guard how small the device is. On here it's marked, it tells you what it is. It's the Pi 3 Model B Plus. They do give you some notes here that the compatible software is required. So on the back here it kind of goes into a little more detail about that. If I can get my camera to focus. Let's try that again. There we go. Alright. Ensure the micro SD card is formatted in the FAT32. Use the SD formatter tool to format cards up to 32 gigabytes in size. When formatting 64 gigabyte cards or larger, you have to use the FAT32 format tool to format the card. So that's just like I guess letting you know I don't have to worry about all that, because this initial card that I'm going to use to learn this thing and to get started with it is going to be a 16 gigabyte card, because I already have one of those laying around. I do eventually plan on upgrading to larger cards. So on the back here it gives you some more information. 64-bit quad-core ARM V8 CPU. It has the 2.4 and the 5 gigahertz bands for your Wi-Fi. It is also Bluetooth enabled. A lot of this other stuff is covered up by this label, so we can't really read what it says here. So yeah, overall nice, neat little package. And let's dig into this thing and see what we have. Set that out to the side. So we have the board itself. As you can see, there's nothing left in there. And there we go. So you have the neat little device here. So I guess we can talk about that more here in just a second. I am going to set it off to the side, and we'll look and see what kind of paperwork they give us. So they give us a quick start guide, and it's in this pamphlet style here. Not going to take a whole lot of time on that. It is there. I'm sure there's a lot of information there. And let's see, I guess that's just a card. So let's take a look at this power supply. Now, this is all, like I said, from Canakit. It was like $10. It is a see if it says it on here. It is a 2.5 amp power supply, and I think that's 5 watts of power, if I remember correctly. Like I said, I'm fairly new to these devices, but I think that's pretty standard. Yep, 5 volt, I don't know what I said watt. 5 volt, 2.5 amp Raspberry Pi power supply. So, and supposedly these are specifically for these Raspberry Pi 3 Plus systems. So here you got your specifics, your input and your output. Let's open up the box. So your typical power supply, and it also has it written right here, everything that is the specs on this thing here. It is micro USB, so but you really need more than just like your phone charger, from what I understand about these things, because of the power consumption needs, especially when you start hooking controllers and other things to the little board. It'll start requiring more power. So that is the power supply. Nothing else left in there. No documentation. So let's finish this up with the board. So from what I understand, you have your different components on here. I believe this is the CPU and the GPU, and you have 4 USB. I believe they're 2.0. You have your gigabit Ethernet, which this thing actually, from what I've read and seen, that this is not true gigabit. It's like 300 megabits is what you actually get out of that. I'm sure you guys that are very familiar with Raspberry Pi, if I could correct me on that. If I say anything wrong about this board and you know more about this thing than I do, please just comment in the section below so we can make sure that I'm right on this thing. So you have your HDMI port, your power port, and these different pin connectors for various other things that you can connect to this board. So like I said, I don't know a whole lot about this, but as these video series go forward, I will learn more about it. So this was just a unboxing and a quick overview of this neat little device that I'm very excited about getting into. So that is the Raspberry Pi 3B Plus model, and this has been Level by Level Gaming. Thank you for watching.